And now we come to the conclusion of one of the most exciting and crazy stories in recent memory. There's been some pretty fun stuff, but this one is crazy what's happening, what's going on, and all of this stuff. And so we hear the story starts off on Dragon Stories part 7. It starts off with Sarkon. Sarkon's got all these dragons following him. He's like, well, we got one thing we gotta do. We gotta destroy the temple, which is the temple was at the heart, which is where the meditation realm was, which is where they're coming from. And so he's getting all these dragons to go there, following him. And then we go back to all the people leaving. Now, again, Jace shattered. We don't know what happened to Jace. But we've got all these people trying to get Ugin, Bolus, Narset, Vraska, Lute, all of them. So Narset has it, and then she gives Lute to Vraska, and they're going out, and all of a sudden they just see the sky covered with dragons. Like, this isn't a Dragonstorm. What's going on? And also, this is Sarkon. Sarkon's got all these under control. And Vraska's like, where's Jace? What happened to him? What's going on? And then basically Vraska just disappears. She just cloaks out with Lute. It says, I'm already gone. I'm out of here. And everyone else is like, what in the world? What's going on? And everyone's like, Narset and Elspeth are like, oh, I guess we're gonna go out. We don't choose. I love this story. We don't choose how our stories begin or end. We can only choose how we live them. Their friend said that. So, like, trying to figure out how they want to live them. And then Elspeth's like, I'm going to go after Sarkon. So she goes up, flies up, and is fighting Sarkon. And they're going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then there's Narset and them are fighting against different dragons. There's one that has, like, breathe poison and all of this. And Narset is doing different things, trying to get up to where Elspeth was and fight against these dragons and do this stuff. Then we go over to Ajani, and Ajani's with the rest of the Abzan clan. He's looking at it and he's like, oh, what can I do? How can I do this? I see Narset. I see Elspeth. Oh no, Narset is in trouble. She's in trouble. And basically, he's like, how can I help? Is there anything I can do? And then it looks like that Elspeth might have fallen, but it's not. She's just continuing to fight and like throw dragon after dragon and do all this crazy stuff. Like, there's this crazy big old dragon fight. And Sarkon just keeps trying to end. And then, Ajani jumps in to basically save Narset. And then he is basically hollering up and talking to Sarkon. Sarkon, stop. Don't do this. You're my friend. Just listen to me. He wasn't listening, And so he had saved Narset. Johnny saved Narset, and then like we've got to help Elspeth. And then he was like, it goes into there where Johnny's like, look, you got to stop. You can't do this. And then Sarkon's like, I know who you are, and I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to take over the world of dragons. We're going to rule the world. All this kind of stuff is going on, and he's just there. And then they were trying to go as fast as possible. Narset was kind of casting a spell to basically try to help save Elspeth, because Elspeth was about to get swallowed by Sarkon, and Ajani was doing everything to get there, so she helped with that. And they were able to do that. Johnny got her, saved her, and then they're still fighting. A bunch of them fighting. A bunch of the Abzan and the other warriors that are there, and they're fighting, and everyone's just like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do anything. Like, people are just going to, I don't think we can win here. They're just eating people, catching them on fire, all this different stuff, a ton of them. And then all of a sudden, like, they're like, look, we got to take out his eyes. Get his eyes. And Johnny and Elspeth and Narset are going together. And they're like, is there anything we can do to stop this? And they jump. And also they hear, enough! And it's Ugin. Everyone's like, where's Bolus? And Sarkon's like, no, you're not. Ugin's like, no, I will not bow to you, Sarkon. He's like, I'm not bowing to you. You don't have control. And then basically he's like, the Dragonstorms behave like whelps when I'm not here. Now I'm going to keep him in line. And the problem is Sarkon says, I'm not doing anything to you, but then he's trying to hit Ugin with a bunch of flames. Doesn't happen. And Ugin just basically consumes him with the ghost fire. Like, consumed. Gone. Finished. And then basically Ugin's like, look, I don't know why the Dragonstorms, they did not listen to me, all this stuff. And then basically we find out at the very end that Bolus is free. So Bolus is back in the world somewhere. We don't know where. He's going to be back in the world. Things that we're going to get in the future. So the next set is going to be in space. But we also now have Bolus free. So I don't know how that's going to happen, where we're going, what he's going to be doing, all of this stuff. So it's going to be quite interesting. And then the very end, it's like the beginning there was nothing. And then all of a sudden, a silhouette of blue cloak comes into focus. There's a blue cloak. Jace, I'm assuming. I don't know where that leaves us, where he is, what part of the world, what part of the universe, where he is going to be, how, if this is going to even tie into Edge of Eternities, or Edge of Eternities is its own story on its own that'll lead us back into all of this. We'll have to wait and see. Quite a bit of time for that, but that's where we're at. That's the end of the story. Bolus is back and free. I told you guys, I called it back at the Drift. I told you Bolus was coming back. There was just too many signs and things that Bolus was coming back, and Bolus is now back. And I am predicting that at some point, Bolus versus Lute is going to happen, and it's going to be an epic confrontational battle. And we'll see what happens. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the story? Or what do you think about what's going on right now? Where do you think Ugin falls? Where do you think everything else goes? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Been a fun story. Looking forward to more story. We won't really have any Magic the Gathering story for a bit because we've got Final Fantasy coming out. And then I think it's August. We'll have Final Fantasy. Then after Final Fantasy, we'll have Edge of Eternity. So Edge of Eternity will be the next story. But that won't be until closer to, I think it's July or August, I believe. The end of July, beginning of August, sometime in there, we'll get some of those stories, I think. So we won't have a story for a little bit, but I might be going back and doing some Magic stories and doing storytelling, because I enjoy telling stories, and it's fun. So I might go back into some of the old lore and go back and read some of the original stories and stuff and tell them to you guys. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. And as always, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.